I love getting my nails done. I go about every 2 weeks or so. Sometimes life gets busy and I don't make it. And my go to is a French or a sparkle. Right now I have sparkle. I need to get them filled, but such is life. My first memories of nails and getting nails done is probably from my grandma because she used to take me to get her nails done when I was younger. And at the time, I never understood why I was sitting in studios for so long for nails. I never got it then. Wanted to do other things. But now in my grown adult life, I get it. It makes me feel put together. It makes me feel girly. It makes me feel special. If I'm going on a trip or vacation, I want to get my nails done to match that trip or that energy. And I'm seeing that they're having a presence in culture and beauty more than they ever have before, at least compared to like 5 years ago. And in the pursuit of wanting to talk to people who were doing cool things, I figured I want to talk to a nail artist. I want to talk to someone who is doing really cool designs that are going viral, that are making a statement in beauty trends and everything. And in my online research, I came across Analysse, and she is Tate McRae's go-to nail girly. I'm so excited by this chat today. It's short and sweet, and we touch on nail health, we touch on culture, we touch on content, we touch on trends, we touch on inspiration. And what I love the most is we touch on what Analysse has learned from humans, what she's learned from sitting across from people for hours, and how her clients have actually helped her more than she's helped them. So I hope you enjoy, and thanks for watching. Okay. Hi, Analysse. Okay, before we jump in, and I'm so excited to talk all things nails today, how has your week been? Like, tell me about how your week has been with work and everything. You're based in LA. How has life been?
Yeah, life has been really exciting. I feel like I kind of live the same week every life, or I live the same life every week, but it's always very, very busy. I have like a balance of like house calls, studio. We're kind of getting back on set again next week, so I've just kind of been preparing for that.
Tell me like what initially drew you to nails? Like how did you get into what you're doing now?
So I've always loved the beauty industry. Like anybody who knows me knows that since I was a little girl, loved the beauty industry. And I actually always found interest in hair and makeup. And I think that was because at the time, there was not like a lot of visual representation of just like a solo nail artist. It was always like salon based. And I think social media kind of inspired me to be like a solo nail tech. But I just started doing nails during COVID on myself because everything had shut down and I loved getting my nails done. And so obviously very, very out of touch and like a luxury service during COVID, but I was like, I need my nails done. So I started doing it on myself and like my sisters, and I realized like how much I genuinely loved it and realized it could become a career.
Would you say, like, I know you started off like being interested in beauty and everything, but would you say that you were like always into pursuing entrepreneurship?
I definitely believe that I did have a very strong urge to be my own boss in some way. I don't think I realized how much of an impact the beauty industry had on me. Like I always wanted to be in the beauty industry, but I think it felt so out of reach for me at the time. I was, so young when I first started. Like I would do girls' hair and makeup for like school dances and stuff in high school, and I loved it. But I knew that I didn't want the typical, 9 to 5 office job. And it was just because I felt so creative that I cannot sit still. But it's weird because when it comes to nails, I could sit still. But if you were to have me sit still anywhere else, I couldn't do it. But I didn't want the 9 to 5, and now I'm working 9 to 9. So I feel like it just depends on like what your passion is.
I feel like every girl group has that friend. Like in high school and middle school, there was always that one girl who was like, I'll do everyone's makeup, I'll do everyone's nails. And that creativity definitely followed them and like where I see they are now. So shout out to you for being the girl who did that, because I was the girl who was like, I don't really know what I'm doing. So we love you.
I remember I played volleyball in high school and I would braid like my teammates' hair before our games. It was so funny.
I love that. Okay. So looking at your content on TikTok, I feel like when I scrolled and like looked at your posts, it started off very like nail photo heavy with like a lot of pics of like different types of nails. And then as we scroll up to like your current content, you're so on point with like cultural trends and day in the lives and just like really cool content that also shows your humor and like how creative you are with like showing your day to day. And I'm just curious, like, how would you describe the evolution of what you showcase and how you got to where you are now as a creator and nail artist?
I feel like when I first started, obviously was there to showcase my art, and I really wanted to be known as a nail artist. And as I kind of grew a following, I wanted people to know more than just, the girl behind the nails. And I realized, I mean, I always say this and it's like so funny, but I'm like, I'm so funny. Like, I think I'm so funny.
You
And
are.
I thank you. I love making, people laugh. And I think I was kind of withholding that for a little bit because I was just, scared to see, like, your humor might not be for everybody. And I was scared to, like, kind of stray away from nails. Like, I always wanted my content to be very nail related. And I was scared that if I started to, show a little bit more of me, that it would look like I was going on the wrong path and I just wanted to, be famous for content. I genuinely feel like me showing the day in the lives, me showing, like, funny trend, like making little funny videos with trendy sounds has really helped my audience, humanize me and realize, like, I'm just a girl like you guys. I just happen to do, nails for people that, like, we all look up to.
Yeah, totally. And like, I'm just a girl. I love that. It's so true. And that's truly like the beauty of social media and TikTok. And I work with artists all the time. And even though like they're so skilled at music and they have such a huge following for a song, it's true. Like, it's still telling them, like, show people what you make for breakfast, show people like what you do when you're not in the studio. And that does appeal to people so much more because it just makes you three-dimensional, because you're known for one thing, but it's opening up like the other sides of you. So I love that so much. So you mentioned earlier that it was a cow print that maybe was your first like viral design. But besides that one design, what was the turning point where you were like, okay, this shit is really taking off?
So another really viral set, I remember I recreated, or actually I created and designed with a client of mine. And obviously her status really held an impact on the design itself. But we did like a star set, and it was just a hand painted star design. And I think at the time I probably had maybe like around 10,000 followers, and I had saw in my analytics that it had reached over 5 million people. And I was like, "Oh my gosh, like my nails reached 5 million people." And even now if a post reaches 5 million, I'm like, "Wow." But in that moment, I was like, "Okay, like I am getting a lot of like love and appreciation for these sets that like I'm just putting out there hoping someone likes." But I was receiving a lot of positive feedback when I started to realize, I was like, "Okay, like this can be really good."
What a feeling. Like, I can't even imagine. Like, I've had one post have 2,000 views or something. And I'm like, oh my gosh, that's so sick. But yeah, 5 million people is incredible. And for something that is so true to who you are and like your passion and everything, like what an incredible moment, honestly. So congratulations. Okay, also, before we continue, what do your nails look like right now?
But this is a typical NailsxAnalysse set. I did obviously pull a lot of inspiration from another artist. If I knew it off the top of my head, I would give her credit. But every nail trend you could possibly think of at the moment in this set. We have animal print, blooming gel, little silver gems, airbrush, French tip,
Mm,
the polka dots,
mm.
the chrome, all of it in one set. I have to do it all every time.
I love that. I am such a French tip girl. Oddly, right now, this is my second thing, and I'm not going to go in because, I am a whatever, I need to get it redone. But sparkle is my go to. Like, I always just do like a two coats of sparkle because I feel like it's so everyday and classic. But yeah, besides that, I am a French tip girl down.
You should try, if you like sparkles, you should try cat eye because it's a very like velvet, like a soft glitter. You should try it. I think you would like it if you like glitter.
Yeah, I've done that once and I like it. So I will. I definitely will. Okay. So yeah, speaking of designs, I feel like your hand, you said, has like so many different ones from like French, polka dots, all of it. But have you ever been surprised by a design ask by a client? Has there ever been anything where you're like, interesting?
Oh, I've done some crazy designs, whether it be something that wants to be hand painted. I remember I did a whole deck of Uno cards one time on someone's hands, and it was a guy, so his nail beds were, we were doing it on his real nail beds, so they were short. And I was like looking at him like, you really want to test the hype right now. Like, you really want to see if I could do this. Because I was looking, Uno cards are your friends. Especially because it was when I first started doing like male manicures as well. So I was like, oh my God, you don't just want clear like coat? Like, thank you. Thank you for believing in me right now.
That's so funny. That actually reminds me one of the craziest things I've ever seen online. And I'm so curious what you think of this. Maybe you've probably seen it. Someone put their card tap in their nail.
I think it's really innovative. But I mean, I don't know how I feel about like putting like technology. I don't know how that works. I don't want to get like, too technical about it, but like having technology sit on your nail bed like that. Don't know like the risks and stuff like that, but I think that's so genius because if someone's ever like, "Who's your nail artist?" and you're like, "At my finger." I'm like, "That's so genius." I know.
That
I wonder
is, we're
how much
very
it costs. Little QR codes that those nail techs are buying. Like, are they reusable?
honestly, I don't know, but UK, you're talking about QR code for nail tech. I like literally saw someone who cut their tap on their credit card, like the little chip, and put it in their nail. So when they shop, they just tap their nail.
I thought you meant the people that put their nail tech's QR code in their nails.
No, they cut their card.
If you cut your card, does it still work?
I guess because like it's just the little chip that's the tappable part. So like when you go to the grocery store, it's like tap and it's like,
Wait, I'm gonna have to cut my card and figure that out.
yeah, listen, I mean, I saw it as like a video on like a reel or TikTok and like who knows if it was just for gags, but I was like, oh my gosh, this is very innovative.
That's so. I definitely thought that you were talking about how like when nail techs put their QR codes, so you could find their Instagram through people's nails.
That I've never seen, but however, maybe that's something that the girls need to be doing.
I saw like a TV show where some girl put receipts on a link and then put the like I don't know which to put the file in her nail. So when you scanned her nail, all the receipts of what she was talking about came up.
That's incredible. Okay. I feel like I had a list of questions, but now we're like going into spaces that I love. This kind of also just takes me to like the current state of like AI that we're at. Like I feel like AI is truly tapping into every realm of everything. And like, best, I know best is 2025, but like, how do you see AI like moving into nail tech? Like, is that, if it's not already, like, how does that work?
I definitely feel like, I mean, AI is everywhere, and I know a lot of people are scared that it'll, like, take their job, especially in the creative end of, the world, because I feel like people who have a creative outlet and a creative job definitely get pushed to the side really quickly when technology starts to come in. But I've definitely seen, AI generated nail sets. Maybe I'm just like on the wrong side of the internet and I haven't seen it yet, but I haven't really seen like AI creations of, like nail artists being taken out of jobs. I've definitely seen those machines where you can like put your finger and the robot draws on your nail
Hmm.
for like a solid color set, but I've never really seen too much of it like, taking over. So, not that I'm
Yeah.
like not concerned, but I don't think that it's genuinely a thought that I have often. I definitely see the AI sets though. I definitely see those because I've been brought AI sets and I'm like looking at them and I'm like, girl, that's not real.
What do you mean by AI set? Like, what do you mean by that? Like, it's a physical nail that was like, what does it look like?
So it's just AI generated. So you know how like people can generate like pictures of people or like with AI. So people will create like they'll type in obviously stuff into like chat GBT and stuff about like their nail inspo, I guess, and then it creates a set, but sometimes the set is just a teeny bit unrealistic in recreating. But yeah, I've seen the AI generated nail sets for sure.
For sure. So, what is the longest set that you've ever worked on, like time wise?
So I always bring up my Zoe, but Zoe and I have done sets that have taken us like 5 hours, but it's not like 5 hours of work. It's like 30 minutes of setup, 30 minutes of removal, 30 minutes of picking her shape and collecting all the inspo, recording our 3 TikToks before transition, setting up our cameras, like moving angles, not putting the hand in the lamp right away because we want to make sure we get the perfect angle. So it's not 5 hours of working on the set. It's just like, from the start to the finish, we're sitting there for 5 hours trying to like do everything. So the set itself, typically, I think the longest it's ever really taken me from like start to finish, if I were to cut that all out, it's probably like almost 3 hours.
Honestly, it's worth it. It
Yeah,
makes sense.
crazy. I hear people that are like, I could never sit longer than an hour. And I'm like, where do you guys go?
Yeah, so that kind of takes me to like, I feel like in the last like 5 years, half of a decade, I've seen so much more talk and resurgence of like nails and like how they play a role in beauty and like red carpets. And, there's now like so many roundups of red carpet looks. And now it's always including nails. And even just like being a girly in Toronto growing out, I feel like I'm seeing so much more like unique sets. And I'm so curious, like, how do you see nail art contributing to the broader conversations of beauty, identity, and maybe even like empowerment.
I definitely feel like I started nails almost 4 years ago. So when I got into it was barely starting to get that appreciation. And like you said, like we're seeing it more and more on red carpets, which I love because I feel like nails are an accessory. And I feel like before, obviously, you wanted to keep your nails clean and manicured, and they just wanted to look simple. But now that all of these celebrities want to come out with such iconic looks, they're realizing how much of an impact having like a crazy nail set that matches like their beautiful dress and their crazy, awesome like makeup looks, how much it's like making them stand out even more. And I feel like that's why nail techs are getting more appreciation because if the client realizes, also, I give a lot of credit to the stylist because on set that I've worked with, stylists are advocating, I feel like, a lot for nail techs. And I feel like a stylist knows how to complete a look from head to toe. And so on set that I've worked on, I've had clients that, I love a bubble, like I talk about bubble bath all the time. I love a bubble bath set and I'll do it over and over again. I don't care as long as the nails look pretty and clean and good. But I've noticed on set when I get told like we want a more complex look, it's always the stylist advocating for the client. So I feel like the stylists are starting to recognize that we really help elevate their look and we contribute a lot. And I've had that conversation with a stylist and it really stuck with me because it meant a lot to me because he's such a well respected stylist. And he told me, he was like, your nails have such an impact and you need to stand on that and you need to advocate for yourself. You need to express that you feel like this would look better with whatever this person's doing. And I was like, okay, you're right. Like a stylist respecting you and your work, they've been advocating a lot for us, I feel like.
Yeah, that's incredible. And I love how people in different positions and perhaps similar industry are pulling people up. And I was watching Law Roach's interview with Kiki Palmer yesterday, and he was kind of speaking on like the evolution of being a stylist. And he was like, basically in a nutshell, he's like, stylists are now finally getting the credit that they deserve for creating looks and setting trends and really like shaking, how an artist or entertainer shows up and like who they are. Cause he's Zendaya's go-to stylist. And for the PR run of Challengers, like her fit made headlines. It wasn't really about the movie. It was about like how she showed up. And I love that he's the one, like, because he's a stylist now, and then they're seeing that also nail artists are doing that too. So it's like pull people up as you also continue to grow in your career.
Yeah, I love that. I love that stylists are also getting a lot of credit because I feel like now too, like we have like the Vogue Get Ready with Me behind the scenes when, these celebrities are about to go on like big carpets or do music videos, which I love because glam is so important and I have so much respect for glam. Like now that I've been working with them, the hairstylist, the makeup artist, the stylist, like it is insane the work that these people put in. And I mean, obviously, the talent that's wearing it is going to get the credit because they look incredible. But glam, I love that they're starting to get more and more recognition for sure.
What a time to be alive and to be creating and killing it, honestly. So, speaking of clients, as a Canadian girly, I have to talk about Tate McRae.
Love.
I think that partnership is so incredible, and Revolving Door like was proper on repeat for me for a really long time, and not just the song, like the video. And what I love is I was watching it forever and then I came across you and I was like, "Oh my god, she did her nails in the video." So, like I was like, "This is gorgeous." So, can you just like tell me a little bit about that partnership and like maybe just for people listening and watching, like what were some of the projects you worked on with her and how was that?
So Tate and I actually connected, I'd say end of 2020, early 2021. And I think I had been doing a few artists that lived in her building or like in the area. And that's kind of how she found me. And I was doing her nails before working on set with her. So I was doing just house calls for her. And then in my eyes, she's always been so famous, so talented. And I always tell her, like, I loved your music when you were doing covers and your like smaller songs on YouTube that are like, to me, they were small, but like obviously compared to what she is now. And as she started to grow more and more and more, I mean, if you look back at a lot of her sets in music videos from like a year or two ago, I did them, but I did them at her house, not on set. And I mean, like I was like a teenage girl. So I think it was just more of like, I did her nails and then she went on set and got glammed and everything. And then I started working like a little bit more prominently with her team. I'd say like about a year ago now, maybe 2 years ago, where like I'm on set with her I'm doing the work. Like that's why I'm getting, I feel like more credit now because I'm like actually a part of the set process. And that's typically
Yeah.
getting the most credit.
That's so incredible. And again, that's another example of the evolution. Like you were just doing her nails as a girly who likes to get her nails done. And now you're being incorporated in her career because it's tying in more than ever.
Yeah, I'm so, so, so beyond grateful. Her and her team know it. I'm so grateful that as she's, evolved in her career, she's wanted me a part of that because I know how tricky the industry can get. And there's so many talented people, and I could never express it enough how grateful I am that she's wanted me to continue with her and her team.
I love that so much. And like, surely this has opened a new path for you as a creator nail artist. So, like, what kind of clients gravitate towards you?
I feel like I have all types of clients, and that's something that I really I would say I love about myself is that I'm not just only focusing on one thing until like that's completely my clientele. I have like my sisters, my cousins, their friends, my close friends. Then I have, my influencers, and then I have, a few of like celebrities. And so I feel like it just depends on who you think is famous. Cause someone that like I think all my clients are my celebrities. It doesn't matter like, who it is. But
Mhm.
I definitely obviously would love to be, a main nail tech for celebrities because I feel like that is where I would feel like, okay, like I made it. Obviously, everybody wants to work with like the big dogs. And so I'm slowly making my way up there, but I love the timing and I love the pace of my journey because I feel like it's helped me stay grounded and not get too overwhelmed with, all the hype.
Yeah, and that's such a good place to be. Like we're in such a fast-paced everything. Like culture is changing so much, like opinions, the world, everything. So that's really nice to hear that you're just so present with where you are. I feel like that's the kind of like mentality I think maybe more people can adopt. So that's incredible. Do you have a dream client or perhaps like a dream project?
Yeah, so dream project, I would love, love, love. So Natalie was the nail artist on Euphoria. I would love to be a part of something like that for sure. I would love to do some sort of like movie or TV series where I'm on set creating nail sets like that for like long term. Like I would love that. I think that I would really thrive in that environment. And then dream client, it's so funny. I like posted a TikTok about this that one of my dream I obviously have so many dream clients, but like the first one that popped into my head because I made a TikTok about this was I would love to do Little Yachty's nails. Like I would
My
when I first started doing nails and I was like on Pinterest all the time looking for designs. I love that he gets designs on his nails. And like I made a TikTok about it and everything. I was like, that's like my one of my dream clients.
honestly, girl, it is so attainable. Like I want you to know that right now it is so attainable and I can't wait for the day that it happens and we look back on this and we're like we
I'll
spoke it into existence.
add this clip at the end of the slideshow showing his nails.
Yay. Okay, incredible. Okay, so when you get your nails done, and I've seen you post content about this and I love it, but it truly is like a damn near therapeutic session. Like people trauma dump, people happy dump, people sad dump. You surely create relationships with people where you're touching base with them on things. And I guess my one question is it's maybe kind of woo woo, but like, what have you learned from humanity by like sitting with people for such a long time? And I say that because before my career now, I used to host a lot at restaurants and I learned a lot about humans and how they react if they don't get a table on time. I'll tell you that. So, what have you learned by being someone who sits with people and is kind of working with them on creative ideas?
I think what I've learned actually would probably be the opposite of what you learned. I think working with so many people and hearing so many stories has softened my heart so
Hmm.
much. I have always been, an empath, but hearing people and knowing that they trust and confide in me literally has softened my heart so much. And I think that it also helps me realize that in certain situations in my life that like I'm not alone regardless of the status of the person from all my clients. They have all softened my heart so much and they've also healed, a huge part of me. And I realized before I did nails, I would say I was a little teeny bit antisocial and just in a way of like, I was just, antisocial. You go through that, I feel like, periods of your life. And I've also realized how important human connection is and how important it is to surround yourself with genuine people. And I feel like what nails has definitely taught me. It's softened my heart a lot.
That's so beautiful. Do you have like a memorable story or anything from a client?
I think just even with I make a lot of funny videos about like me being my client's therapist, but I don't think that my clients realize how much they've helped me as well. They've known a lot of my clients have known me since I was 19 years old and I'm 24. So they've seen so many sides of me, and you know, I really, really am grateful about like the clientele that I've been able to attract because they have just in stages of my life they've supported me, like whether that be like me wanting to make the transition from working at home to working at a studio, their support and like them feeding positivity into me has helped. Just little things like so simple, they don't even realize how much they've healed me. I've become so close with, some of my clients and like we're like friends and we hang out outside of me doing their nails. So I think that just all of that is just I always think about it. I always think about like times of my life because obviously life moves so fast and I think about myself at 20 years old and I'm like, would I have been able to get through that as quickly and as maturely as I did if I didn't have so and so in my life? And it's always a client. I always think about my clients.
That's so incredible. Honestly, it just seems like you get so much reward from what you do. Like,
Absolutely.
what a privilege. What a privilege, honestly.
I'm so blessed in all areas, like social media and like success aside. I've been so blessed to just find genuine people that like genuinely love, care, and support you just as much as you do. So I'm really blessed.
Okay, just like nail health. We're just gonna pivot to nail health a bit. Because I feel like I've heard so many maybe myths or just different things about getting your nails done from dipping is better than shellac or acrylic is better than biogel, so many things. So I guess is there a healthiest set to get? And what is the healthiest set to get?
I think all set aside, like let's just take out the enhancement itself.
Okay.
The healthiest part of nails and what I feel like if you did the same regardless of the enhancement you're getting, you are going to be okay, is having a nail tech that cares about your nails and is prepping your nails, just simple things like not overcutting the cuticle, not over filing the nail,
Mm,
soak offs and removals. I know of so many people that I'm known as a gel specialist. So hard gel, regular gel, gel X, that is my niche. But I did start with acrylic. And so I know a lot of people like to diss acrylic, but to me, the only reason why people have experienced damaged nails with acrylic is because they're either one, ripping off their nails, which is like, no. Two, they're going to a nail tech that's not using legal products, which is like not the client's fault. But it's important. I mean, you're getting a service. It's important to educate yourself and really figure out like who you're going to. Like I would never just go to a hair girl and just hope she could do something. You do your research a little bit about them. And then just the prep. Prep is so important. And if your prep is good and your nail tech is educated and knows what she's doing, regardless of the service you're getting, your nails are going to be fine. I mean, I've heard things I've never really done dip, but I've heard like it's unsanitary because you're dipping it into the thing. But I feel like it's like I don't want to comment on it too much because it's on a service I'm not doing. I don't really have an opinion on. But for my services, I know that if I'm prepping my clients' nails in a way that I know I'm not over filing, over damaging, and I'm doing a proper soak off and removal, that's why I'll always offer my client a proper soak off. And my client's like, I can rip them off. I'm like, no, it's even
please don't.
girl, I
This
got a
is for
foil.
you.
Yeah, I got a foil.
You have time. You have time.
Exactly. So I feel like for the services I do, I've learned that as long as I'm prepping, not over filing and not over cutting cuticles and just, using sanitized products or sanitized tools, and then I'm soaking off fine, my clients' nails. I mean, you could ask any of my clients, they always tell me my nails have never looked this good and this healthy.
Incredible. The cuticle thing is interesting because I feel like when I go to get my nails done in Toronto and I just get a fill, I get acrylic powder fill. I'm happy with the design, but the one thing sometimes that throws me off is they won't touch my cuticle. Like they'll always just fill it, and then I feel like my cuticles aren't that cute, and I'm like, why doesn't it include a cuticle cut when I get a fill?
Yeah, so I feel like nail techs recently have brought that into their service. And I feel like a lot of people don't recognize that. And, but it's like, I wouldn't say a Russian manicure because a Russian manicure has a lot like into it, but there is a cuticle ball bit. There's other cuticle bits that nail techs use that ensure really, really good retention. And I feel like it's really overlooked because I mean, you notice it. And there is clients that do notice it because I always get told, like, what is that drill bit? Like, what are you using? Like, why does it feel like that? Like, it's so weird. Like, it doesn't hurt, blah, blah, blah. But yeah, so I feel like a lot of solo nail techs have changed that, where we're going further than, there's simple manicure to ensure great retention. And that's what I feel like has also elevated nails and elevated the services is like we're
Yeah.
making your hands look pretty. Like we're not just slapping a nail on you and calling it a day. Like we're making sure that your nails look very clean.
It's a huge difference. Like I notice every single time, and there's the odd places that do it, and maybe I do go back more than the other places. I mean, I feel like right now where I go is proximity, like where it's close to me and I can just like jump to and come home. Yeah, it is definitely a frustration. And sometimes if I have asked, it's like an extra $20 or $25. And I'm like, okay,
Well, I'll keep them. It's fine.
yeah, I can do it home. What would you say is the biggest myth when it comes to nail care?
I think the biggest myth is that your nails need to breathe.
I've heard that all the time.
They don't have lungs. But I do understand the theory because I have had clients that, break a nail. My mom is the girl I could talk about for hours when it comes to nail. You would think that my mom's daughter did not do nails because she will rip them off. She will bite her cute. And I'm like, Mom, please stop. But there has been times where I've told my mom because she's repeatedly ripped off the set, I cannot put nails on you until these grow out a little bit because once your nail bed gets really, really, really thin, that's when like it starts burning really bad. People can
Mm.
get contact dermatitis because there's nothing really protecting your skin anymore because the nail is so thin, or it's also just like they're bloody and they're open wounds, and we do not need to be putting nails on that. So I understand the idea of needing your nails to breathe, but I think it's more of like if your nail is damaged, give her a sec before you're putting something on top of her. Because also adding an enhancement, if your natural nail is not strong and it's not in its best, state, they're not going to last you at all.
Hmm.
Nails are like overproducing oils trying to make sure that your nails heal, but your nails don't need to breathe. Just take care of them. Don't rip off your nail.
You just like changed my output. Like you really popped a bubble for a myth. And I think you are going to for a lot of people as well, because I've been told that my whole life.
Don't cancel me. If your nails need to breathe, they need to breathe.
No. You do you. Honestly, it's true though. They don't have lungs. It's fine. Yeah, it's been a while that I haven't had nails. And the last time I did do it, it was admittedly, I did tell myself they need to breathe, but it was more so because I was like, I just need them to get like my natural nails to get stronger. That's really what it was.
That's the importance of having, a nail tech that really values their work and they're really educated is they'll never make you feel like your nails are like suffering during the process. Cause I mean, before I did nails, I was a client. So I've experienced the ripping off my nails. I've experienced the over filing. I've experienced it all. And I've noticed that like, that's when you feel like, okay, my nail is so thin. Why is it so thin? It's like, well, because got damaged a little bit, but I get it. I get why
Yeah,
people let their. I mean, always take a break. There's
for
no bad
sure.
taking a break.
And I mean, speaking of retention, I actually had one nail place that I was just getting a shellac manicure. And the woman was like, I'm sorry, like, I can't do this on you. Like, your nails just like need to grow back. And I remember being like, oh my gosh, she cares about
She
me.
cares about
Like,
me.
this is
She
so
loves
nice. Yeah.
I've had clients that are like, please. I'm like, your nails cracked in half, girl. What did you do?
Hmm.
She's bleeding.
Ouch.
Please let her be.
If you care about her.
I advocate for nails all the time. Like nail health to me is so much more important than a beautiful nail design. And like obviously I love nail designs and I'm always gonna advocate for a good nail design, but natural nail health is just so important. I tell all my family all the time. And your nails,
Yeah.
licensed nail techs know this. Your nails will tell you a lot about your health internally.
Mm.
So if your nail tech is doing everything right and you still feel like your nails are not doing something, that's like your body will tell you through your nails still.
Maybe that's a masterclass that we need to come back to. Okay, so I mean, for someone who is pursuing doing what you do, being a nail tech and just being really creative and like also being a creator online and being really successful and growing your audience and getting such great clients. And I guess maybe like someone who wants to pursue like an entrepreneur path, where they work from themselves, what would be your top advice for them?
I think first it would be to be authentic. I feel like a lot of people see a success in something and try to mimic it just because it's evident that it's worked. And I know a lot of people will like just not even just with nails, but any industry. They're like, well, I'm going to become this because I want to be that. And I think that it's really important to find something that you love and then realize that you can become an entrepreneur off of it. But if you're just going into it just trying to be the entrepreneur, I feel like that's where you kind of get lost and frustrated. Consistency in this industry is everything. I know everybody preaches it, and it probably gets annoying hearing like, show up for yourself, post the video, post the nail set, practice on yourself, find a way to like, engage with your audience. But that's really what it is. It's,
Yeah.
if you have the talent, obviously that speaks a lot for itself sometimes. But I see people get overlooked all the time because they're just not, putting that extra emphasis. And a lot of people, I've seen the TikToks. Like I signed up to be, a hairstylist or a makeup artist, not a content creator. And so that's like the hard part is it's a whole job in itself. And if you want it bad enough, you have to be willing, to work for it. It's not easy. I would be lying if I sat here and was like, oh no, it's so easy. I'm like always fine. I'm always on chill mode. Like, no, my brain is we always have to think of something new.
Yeah. I mean, what are you doing? What are you doing when you're not doing nails?
Oh, I'm always working. I'm always working. So whether that
Let it
be
be known.
I know, but I mean, my job is different. My little sister, she just graduated nursing school, and she's like making fun of me because she always makes fun of me. Because I'll be like, "Do you want to go to a coffee shop and like work together?" She's like, "So you can like scroll on TikTok for like 20 minutes and then tell me that you're
It's
done."
my job.
Yeah, I'm like, "Well, but it's like our inside joke because sometimes that's work to me. I'll be scrolling on TikTok looking, for trending audios, trying to like find something like funny to post. And I feel like, I mean, you kind of mentioned it. I've been trying to like do that a little bit more where if I see or hear like a funny audio, I'm like, oh my God, I know exactly how to like change up the content of just like nail set, nail set, nail set. But aside just doing the nails itself, I'm constantly, communicating with brands that I want to work with, working with my manager, Ariana. We're always, I'm always pitching ideas to her. You can ask her. I text her at least 15 intrusive thoughts a day. I have so
Oh my gosh.
thoughts. She probably like is so like Emily is like focused, but I'm constantly, thinking of ideas and ways to, just expand and put myself out there more, thinking of ways how I can help, people online, like series I could do that I know will help and benefit a lot of people. But this brain is, she never turns off.
I
Never.
mean, hey, keep it going until you know in yourself that it's time to like take a break and reshape or whatever it is, but you are here for a reason, and like I came across your stuff for a reason, like it reached me, and I think it's so incredible and like applauded where you are for being an incredible creative person with nails. And I think that, like I mentioned earlier, it's getting its place in culture that I don't think it's had before. Lean in. And I'm so excited to see what you continue to do. And I am so excited for when you do Little Yachty's nails.
I can't wait. I'm like, Lil Yachty, if you see this.
Thank you so much for hanging out today. It was such a pleasure. And I hope you have the best clients and the best day.
Thank you. I hope you have the best day.
Thanks.
Bye. It's nice meeting you.